Jamie Beaumont, I am very recent member of the state bar, up here in June. And I am helping to organize the transgender service remembrance on Wednesday. So if you're available, please come out and join us. We'd be happy to.
I'm Lindsay Paris Lopez. My family and I have been members for about 10.5 years. I can measure it because my younger daughter was about half a year old when we first joined, and today is her birthday. And my older daughter will be singing at the transgender Day of Remembrance on Wednesday. So hope everyone knows that. My older child.
Okay, and how about you, LB? Let's go to you.
Okay, I'm LB Norton. My husband's usually here with me, but we have company, so he stayed home with them and they'll be here at church. We've just started coming last March. Very happy to be here.
I'm Jane Stolershoff, and we've come since March as well. We transferred from St. Mark's Geneva to St. Mark's Manila.
Makes it so much easier to remember the name of the church, right?
Yeah. And we came after 35 years in that congregation because this church is open and affirmed. Bottom line.
I'm John. Pretty much whatever she said, I'm.
We tell people John and Jane like the does.
Yeah, I'm Tim Kane, and like I said, we've been attending online for a number of years, also because of the open and affirming church. And yeah, and we just have started coming more in person just in the past couple of weeks. So we saw this event and thought it sounded interesting.
Yeah, I'm Christy, and like Tim said, we both were raised Catholic and had, after 2016, kind of knew that we needed to do something a little different as far as churches and St. Mark's. We started at Trinity for a little while in Wheaton, and then with the work that St. Mark's does with immigration and transgender and just accepting everyone. Our youngest is non-binary, and we just think this was the right place for us.
Great.
So we've been watching online for a long time, and then finally.
Well, we're so glad you're here in person.
Finally got up earlier.
I know. Mornings are hard for us.
Boy, I get that.
That's one. My name is Andrea Laszlo. I am a spiritual companion and forest therapy guide and lover of all things outdoors. And I've been coming to St. Mark's for about 1.5 years. And I also grew up Catholic, and then vast experience faith-wise, but really glad to be at St. Mark's.
I'm Mauro Hernandez, and you're about to know a little bit about me. You can skip me for that.
Okay. And don't give it all away now, right? Edna?
I'm Edna Hetherington. I'm an Episcopalian, and I've been at this church since 2009. I live here in Glen Ellyn.
I'm Joshua O'Shea. Been here at the church since just about 10 years, a little under that. I'm a librarian here in town, and then what have we done? Raised Baptist and converted later on.
Hi, I am Dick Bylander, a 59-year member of St. Mark's.
Wow.
I know about every room and every window and every bathroom in this building. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm Diane Jennings, and I've been here a long time too. I think we may be I think I may be here a little longer than he, but it just time flies, and before you know it, you've been there all that time. I'm grateful to be here. I'm happy. Thank you.
My name's Molly. I'm a freshman at Wheaton College. So I just started going here a couple months ago. And I've been Episcopalian all my life.
And I'm Joyce, and I've been here for 24 years and am involved in lots of things. You'll see me around. And we're so excited that Mauro is with us. In 2011, St. Mark's started a new venture of having a Spanish language service. And we really were you involved from the very beginning,
No,
Mauro? You've been here for a long time, though.
Actually 12 years.
Oh, it's been, yeah, okay.
Yep.
So almost the beginning.
Almost
Yeah,
the beginning,
yeah, yeah. And so if you come at 1 o'clock, you'll see we have a very vibrant community of Spanish speaking people, and we all consider ourselves to be one church. And we're so excited that Mauro is joining us today because we're doing this series, This Is Us. We've done it before. Do you all remember the TV show, This Is Us? That's where we got the name. But we're looking at different members of St. Mark's. So last week, LB shared her story with us. And this week, Mauro is going to share his story. And next week, Jamie's going to share her story. So it's a great way. Edna, I think you've done didn't you? You did one in the past, and Josh did one, and Diane did one. So we've heard from a number of people here, and it's just so fun to get to know people in that way. So Mauro, it's up to you.
Okay. And like in any presentation, there are technical difficulties. So I just got a blue screen on my computer. So I'm just starting my computer. And I
That's okay.
apologize for that. So once it comes back, how can I connect to the
You need to
television?
get onto the if you go to the St. Mark's website and connect to the worship Zoom,
Mhm,
you'll
mhm.
be on the, you
Oh,
can.
I see. Okay.
because
Or I could just, if you have Zoom, I can just tell you the number and you can just,
Or-
all you do, just zoom in.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just do Zoom,
Okay.
she'll tell you the number and then you can connect.
Got it. Okay. So just, Laura, just give me like 2 more minutes.
No problem. Whenever you're ready, I got the number for you.
Okay. Sounds good. But in the meantime, I guess we can start talking a little bit. So I was invited by Father George to make this presentation and tell you about a little about me. And when I was invited, I said, I'm just a regular guy. Right? What am I gonna say? Just a regular guy, regular job. And well, I said, well, I probably have 1 or 2 things that I can tell. So here I am. I put together a presentation. I'm going to talk about who I am, where I'm coming from, what I'm currently doing, my family, obviously, my family here, my family in Mexico that I left in Mexico. Obviously, I'm gonna tell you that I'm in Mexico. I'm gonna show you a map of Mexico, and I'm going to locate where exactly I am. Realize that I'm not from the border. So this was kind of a surprise of life that I'm here. Since I was studying, I knew I wanted to, be in a different place because I wanted to know, places, different people, different everything. But I never thought that I was going to be here in the US. So it was kind of a surprise. I have friends that are from the border, which is like more natural, like natural path to migrate. It wasn't me. It wasn't. I was actually, before coming to the US, I was looking to make different studies in Europe. I applied for it. I was never accepted. There is a reason for everything, right? So here I am. After 12 years, I feel home. Now this place became home. Obviously, the first, probably 3 years were difficult. It was a difficult migration. We came with my family. I'm going to show a picture of my family, a couple of pictures of my family. And we came here with 4 pieces of luggage. So I remember the day we landed in O'Hare with 4 pieces of luggage, just 1 for every member of the family. And until now, I'm still surprised of how you can pack in just 1 piece of luggage all that you were before or that you are. So I'm 49 now. I've been here for 12 years. So I came when I was 37. 37 years of living in Mexico, different places in Mexico, but still in Mexico. And how you can pack all that in a piece of luggage. I'm still surprised how I did it. And it was the same for my wife, it was the same for my kids. At that time, my son, who is now 20, he was 12. My daughter, who is now 17, was what? Five. Yes. So it was quite a journey. And as I said, the first 3 years were difficult. Everything was difficult, or everything was different. The education system is different. The health system is different. Life in general is different. The environment at work was different. But after those 3 years, we fit completely. We made a match. And again, as I said, it's now part of life, part of the family. We were very fortunate to find a family, what I call a family here. Several members of the church, several members outside, several friends that came as parents of my kids, at school, or parents of my school partners. And now they are family. And we were also very fortunate to find St. Mark's. And I can tell you a lot about it because still my computer is cleaning up and doing weird stuff. But when we came 12 years ago, we basically came as a recommendation from friends. We came here thinking that it was a Catholic church. We were raised Catholic, probably like 80% of the Mexicans over there. And we said, well, this is a Catholic church. And it was my wife who said one day, something is weird. something is different. And I never paid attention. What is different? It's a church similar to the one we used to go to in Mexico. And she said, no, something is different. I'm going to find out. And actually, it was a real struggle for her. To me, nothing at all. I was very happy since first time. But for her it was like, I need to find out. And she went to the internet. She was watching YouTube videos and she started making questions. And after a month or something of investigation, she came back to me saying, it's not Catholic. I told you. This is Episcopal. And I said, what is Episcopal? So let's find out together. Anyway, we made an immediate click. It was like, this is our house. And since 12 years ago, this is still our house. We feel at home. We feel accepted since the first service. And yeah, it's part of our life. And it's back now. So let it work on it.
And so if I can interject while you're doing that.
Sure.
It's interesting to me because I know you live in Oswego. That's a long way.
In Aurora.
To come.
South
Aurora,
yes.
okay.
Yes.
That's a long way to come.
It's, I was telling LB that it's 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes. And we don't live closer. Otherwise, we would be here on a daily basis.
Practically are.
Yeah. My wife and I are engaged in several things in the church. And we are happy to do it. As I said, it's basically just part of the family. And, as I said, I was raised Catholic, but actually I didn't make a click with the religion while I was in Mexico. So one of the things that I gained is actually have this understanding and deep sense of ownership that I have now. Because, in the past, it was like any other thing that I used to do on a Sunday. Like, it was like a checklist, right? Like, wake up, check. Like, do breakfast, check. Go to church, check. But I didn't engage. And now it's completely different. So it's actually one of the things that I want. And I'm very happy for that. Okay, so Laura, now you need to tell me what to do here.
So you go into Zoom and you're gonna go into room number 483.
Okay, I go into Zoom,
Yeah,
okay?
And it's join a room. I don't know, trying to remember where, here, try to bring it up.
Okay, join me.
Yeah, here,
Oh,
oh, that's true. Can you look over his shoulder? Is he in the right place? Miguel, go back. Is he in the right place? He's ignoring me.
no, he's in the right place.
Okay, cool. Oh, I just realized y'all could see it on, no, you can't see it on the screen.
Well, we can't see, but I could tell from Miguel, how Miguel looked at it that he knew he was in the right place.
but this is the number, no?
CC,
Okay, so I'm joining right now.
yay.
And then you'll have to share your screen once you're in. Yeah, you know all that stuff, right?
Okay, now you need to accept, okay.
Yep. They're coming. Zoom's bringing you in. And I will just, for the sake of,
I don't
there
need
we
to
go.
join the
Do
your
not join,
audio.
no, do not join with voice. Do not join with voice. Say don't, and it'll say, are you really sure? And you say, yeah, no, just keep going.
Okay,
Perfect.
got it.
Awesome.
Okay, now let me share my screen.
Yay.
Okay. No. Slash. There you go. Cool. Okay, finally. Okay, so yeah, finally I can start. So as I said, just a regular person. My name is Mauro Hernandez. Again, when I was invited by Father George, I said, "Oh, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do here," but and it's funny because the other day I was in a kind of what is this self-improvement session that was organized by my job, and there was a session in which we had to talk about ourselves. It was one of the last sessions, and I was one of the last person presenting my life, and so I had a chance to see the presentations from others. And while the people was presenting, I was like, wow, what am I going to say? Because, there was a person, a co-worker from Sudan, Africa, that he was in the middle of the civil war. He had to flee from his little village when he and his family were living, and they fled to Egypt, and from Egypt to some other places. And I was like, wow, this is going to be scary for me because, again, I'm going to say I've been having a quiet life. But anyway, I'm going to do my best. And just, I guess, to make this dynamic and probably more entertaining, if you have any questions or any comments at any time, just feel free to, bring it up. And if it is a question, I will be glad to answer. So as you can see by my appearance and my accent, I'm from Mexico. I'm Latin, specifically from Mexico. And more specifically, from this state, if you can see my arrow here, Michoacan. So that's the place where I was born. Again, I'm close to 50, I'm 49. In March 30th, I'm going to be 50, quite an accomplishment. And yeah, so I'm from here. I put some, things that I had from a previous presentation about Mexico. They can be interesting or not, but anyway, something that I noticed is that Mexicans like to talk about probably 2 or 3 things all the time. We talk about how proud we are of being Mexicans. We talk about everything, all the different parties and celebrations that we have, like the Virgin Mary or Virgin of Guadalupe celebration in December, and we talk about Noche de Muertos, that day or that not that. And we talk about several things. Notice that I didn't say Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo is completely different. And I have some friends that say, hey, Cinco de Mayo, Mexican Independence Day. Congratulations. No, not exactly. Not exactly. I mean, it's a celebration in Mexico, specifically in Puebla. You're from Puebla? Okay, Puebla is this state in light green here. And I mean, it's a celebration. I think there is a parade, right? Holiday. But in the rest of Mexico, it's like any other day. So yeah, Cinco de Mayo is not, I think there is more celebration here and more noise about Cinco de Mayo than actually Mexico. Mexican Independence Day is September 16. So anyway, that's where I live, or my hometown. And I'm the country of all this, all this food.
Mauro, you didn't mention soccer. Isn't that one of the three?
Yes, I think so.
I mean, there's pride and there's festivals and soccer.
Yeah, I avoid saying that because it has been so disappointing.
Yeah.
That I just didn't want to, say anything about it.
Khan has got some really good soccer.
That is correct. That's soccer.
Yeah.
It's another one. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the national sport by far.
Yeah.
By. And
You don't need
yeah.
to apologize. We're Cubs and Bears fans here, so we know what that's like.
Okay, yeah. I know what you mean. I was in Soldier Field last
Yeah.
week. So I witnessed
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So and one of the things that we want to talk about is food. That's one of our top three. And well, you probably know several of these things. You have probably even tried some of this food. And obviously, as I said, all the parties. And we tend to be noisy, us. And we like music, and we like partying, and stuff like that. So yeah, piñatas and mariachis and all those kind of things. So this is my family. My son, 20 now. My daughter, she's 17. My wife. And we like to spend time together. Now my kids are adolescents, and as you can imagine, they have now their own interests and their own life and friends, and sometimes they don't want to accompany us. We used to be like, 4 members of the family going everywhere and have lunch together and have, spend time on Sundays. Now it's basically my wife and I. But I guess that happened to me when I was young. And eventually I came back, so I hope they come back eventually. So yeah, this is my family. My son is currently studying at North Central College in Naperville. He's starting to become an electrical engineer. My daughter is a junior in Oswego High School, and my wife is now coming back again to be a housewife. She was taking care of a senior person with Alzheimer. Unfortunately, she passed away 1 week ago. So yeah, it was really sad. Now she's coming back to the house. So anyway, this is my family. A little bit more about my family is that my daughter Paola, she was born with a genetic disability. So she has low vision and some other things. From all the chromosomes that a normal human being have, well, she lost 1 chromosome. And when she was born, my wife and I went through all this medical analysis, blood testing, pretty sophisticated thing, because we wanted to know where that disability came from. Well, it was basically the results proved that it was basically a mistake of nature. It didn't come from anywhere. I mean, nobody. So it's just a technical situation. Thanks God, she has been great. 12 years or 17 years ago, the forecast wasn't good. We thought she was going to be blind, she was going to lose sight at a certain point. Well, no, it hasn't happened. Actually, she tells me, well, she wears glasses, and sometimes she just doesn't want to wear glasses. And I say, Paola, you need to wear your glasses. If I don't wear my glasses, I would be, hitting all the walls. And she says, yes, you have low vision. I'm not. You have worse vision than I am. Okay. That's good. You don't have to wear glasses if you. Okay, so anyway, that's my family. And that's my family here. That's my family in Mexico. Here, my mom, she passed away 3 years ago after a courage battle with brain cancer. Um, she, the lady next to my mom, she's my in-law, my mother-in-law. This is Paola, my daughter. And here I have cousins. This is my dad here. She's my sister, which, by the way, they're gonna be here for a couple of weeks in December. So we are gonna spend some time together during Christmas, and both my wife and my sister have a birthday celebration the same day, December 26th. So we're gonna be all together. This is my wife's family. This is my wife here, and this is her brother, niece. This is Paola, mom, and another niece. And this is my cousins, and well, anyway, other members of the family. So this is the family that I left in Mexico. And this is my hometown. So in addition to all the family members that I left, I also left this beautiful city. I guess you know Morelia. Okay.
With the most beautiful cathedral, the Roman Catholic cathedral, but this beautiful building.
Yeah. So yeah, this is my home place, my hometown. Morelia. Morelia is the capital city of the state of Michoacan that I showed you on the map. And yeah, one of the most beautiful cities. And it's not me telling it. It's actually United Nations.
No, it's not like a color, but it's okay.
So
How often do you get back?
like once or twice a year, or less. It's been a couple of years that we haven't been there, but before it was like once or twice a year. So yeah, this is my hometown.
Mauro, do you take the children? Well, they're not children anymore. Do you take the kids?
Yeah.
to go? Yeah,
Yes,
that's important.
yes.
Yeah.
I think one of the most important things to me is that they don't forget who they are and where they are coming from. So to me, it's like you need to know your relatives, right? Your cousins and your uncles and whoever. And yeah, every time we go there, I tend to take them to the places that I used to be. I don't know if that is interesting to them, but I think it will. I mean, eventually they will. Probably I'm not gonna be here anymore, and they are gonna tell their kids, your grandpa used to live here and used to study here, stuff like that. But anyway, this is my hometown. And this is my education. I said, well, I guess it is important to say who I am, my education and everything. So I'm a son of the Mexican public school system. So I was always in public education, and I studied to be electronic engineer, so electronic engineering. And I got it. I have a specialty in bioelectronics, and I have an MBA. The MBA was in a different state, in a different city. So this was in Morelia, my electronic degree or my engineering degree. My MBA was while I was working, and I was working in a different state. So that's an MBA and a specialty in high management. So just a little bit about me. And this is what I am right now. So I work for a company that is located in Goodrich, probably 35 minutes from here, more or less. It's called Mori Corporation. It's a private company, and we design and manufacture electronic devices. Especially these kind of devices. I actually brought one, and you can actually see and touch and everything. Oh. It's a telematic device. I knew it. Okay. So it's one of the telematic devices that we that we design and build. This is for a specific customer, so we label with the name of the customer and we chip and everything. So basically, what this thing does is you can connect it to basically any car or any heavy duty vehicle, trucks and cranes and stuff like that. You connect it and you have geographical location all the time, and you can inquire your vehicle for a bunch of different things, like fuel consumption, geographical location, coolant temperature, and a bunch of other things. So we do, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we do these kind of things at the Mauro Corporation. I'm the senior manager of product development. So I supervise several teams. For example, the team that perform testing for that piece of equipment, and other that does validation, another one that tests in the manufacturing environment. This is actually how it looks, the company from inside. So this is the manufacturing plant, but I'm working more in the design side of things. So I'm more like a person in front of a computer than anything else. But yeah, this is the kind of things that we do in the company. Now I want to tell you about my hobbies and the things that I like to do. And I like to travel. I love to travel. And I've been very fortunate to travel together with my wife and my family. So we have been in several places. And yeah, I plan to continue doing it because that's actually part of my life. It's as I said at the beginning, I want to know as much as I can about, others and other places and see things that I have never seen before, stuff like that. Something that happens in Mexico, and Diacono, I don't know if you agree with me, is that, well, Mexico is evolving, right? But when I was living there, Mexico was still like, all the people was the same, kind of the same, living in the same environment, doing more or less the same kind of things. It was more like, regular kind of life. And I wanted to offer my kids a more dynamic thing, know people from different places of the world and be able to speak another language, which actually they do. And I think that's something that I have accomplished as a parent. So it's actually, it's very encouraging to me to see for example, my son having friends from Europe, obviously Americans also, and people from Africa, and they all can be together and they can all talk about things and they can all be concerned about school, because you realize that in the end, everybody is the same, kind of the same. We all want the same things. We want to have a happy life. We want to accomplish things. We want to have a family. We want to raise kids. We will, the kind of the same thing. And it's been nice to see that accomplished. One of the things is that I never had personal expectations about, being a scientist and change the world with my inventions or something like that. I never thought about it. I never thought about being an influencer and I'm gonna, trigger a movement. And that's not me. Again, as I said, I'm just a regular person. But I think I can make a contribution to my society, to my country, to the world, if you will, by basically by two things: my work, my daily work, and by basically passing by the best values of the world to my kids. And if I can accomplish that they are good people, respectful people, people that care about others, that are hardworking, I think I'm doing my job. I might be wrong, but that's what I think. So anyway, as I said, I love to travel with my family.
Did you go into the Uffizi? I was there 5 weeks ago.
In the what? I'm sorry?
The Uffizi up in Florence.
Oh,
Did you go into that?
No, I didn't.
All right.
I didn't. Because I realized that was the first time
Okay.
that I went to Florence. And I realized that I had to purchase the tickets like months in advance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we bought ours in January.
Yeah.
So I missed it. I missed other beautiful places that I would have liked to go. I was also during that same trip, I was in Barcelona.
Okay.
And I wanted to see the Gaudi Cathedral.
Yeah.
I couldn't. And I was like dying inside, like,
Yeah.
oh.
Well, you just have to go back. Well, man.
I will have to.
Yeah.
I will have to.
Now.
Yes, I also wanted to be in a Pope Mass in the Vatican. And because of the same reason, I missed.
That was so, yeah.
But anyway, I was this close. Probably next time. But yeah, it's been interesting.
We had to sneak in when we went because we did the same thing.
We just followed the crowd. We got it.
And I just said, it was, before they did probably stricter, but it was like, we were like, well, just keep moving and keep going where other people are going and we'll see what happens.
I think
And
we ended
got
up in
all
the
the
group
way
and we were like.
Yeah.
Because I had done all the same things. I had not gotten passes and things in advance. And I was like.
That was unfortunate. But I mean, we missed the mass, but we had a chance to go to the Vatican museums because I didn't know it was just pure luck that it was free on Sundays. Obviously, the line is like miles away from the entrance, but we were there, and it was hot like hell. It was completely hot. And they did something that they told me, one of the guards told me that that was unusual. They opened the windows. In every one of the rooms in the museums, they opened the windows just for the wine to blow because it was hot like crazy. But it was nice. It was a nice experience. Yeah. Well, other things that I also like to do is I like to run, actually. I'm not good at it,
Right.
but I like it. I like it. And everything started with a 5K. And it was, again, like a checklist. I love checklists, by the way. That's my engineering mentality triggering. And it was like, I need to participate in a one race, at least once in my life. So I'm gonna do something fast and easy. I'm gonna enroll in a 5K. I did it. And it was like, I have to do it again. And I was surprised of that because I never thought I was going to like it. But actually, yes, I like it. So I've been in several other races. From 5K, I moved to 10K or 8K, and then to 10K, and then to 12K. And I was just in one half marathon back in May. I'm planning to participate in a second one. That is going to be a challenge. I know it's going to be a challenge. In January 28th, I think it is. I know it's going to be a challenge because of the obviously 21 kilometers, but also the temperature. But I think it's something that I have to do. It's like the 5K, but now it's this. So I'm planning to attend. I'm preparing, and hopefully I'm going to be able to do it. I really like to hear podcasts. So from my house to the job is like a 35 minutes commute. So I have 35 times 2. I have 70 minutes to hear the podcast. So I like to do it. There are some days, especially on Fridays, that I say, okay, this is enough. I'm just gonna play music, any kind of music. But I like it. I like to read. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time. I would like to have more time to read. I like non-fiction books more than fiction. Okay, it's just engineering rigging.
What type of podcasts?
Basically finance.
Okay.
Or news.
Like deep dive analysis or like a bunch of like gathering from all like surveys when it comes to the news?
More like analysis.
Okay.
More like that. And I switch every once in a while. So now I'm hitting one from the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
And I like it. I mean, it's a little bit of everything. So yeah. I like it a lot. And during mornings, one of finance, Mexican finance. So I like it.
You probably like Throughline from NPR. because that does a lot of like deep dive. Nonfiction studies of either a location or a subject.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot of here's like kind of the 3 points, way far back, middle back, and now. So,
Okay.
yeah, that made
Okay.
sense. What's worked.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. We're gonna
Yeah.
look for it.
Yeah.
The other thing that I like, and I'm trying, and I'm forcing to learn, is trading. My son is actually doing it right now, and she has spent the last 3 years studying this thing. And I said, well, I mean, by conversations, I said, well, this sounds interesting. Let me give it a try. And I'm doing it. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna get anything from it, but I'm doing it. I just consider this interesting. So I really like to do it. And I think that's the last slide. Yes. So that's me in a nutshell. So I thank you for your attendance. And if you have any question to me, feel free, please. Or any
Why
comment.
did you come to this part of the country?
That's a good point. So I was invited to this company that I've been working for 12 years. So I was invited for my boss's boss, actually. At that time, he was the vice president of something, and he gave me a call, said, hey, Mauro, do you want to come? And it was a difficult decision. I think my wife and I spent like 3 weeks thinking about it. And we were like, should I reject it? It's a change of life. We know we're gonna leave family, and my kids were young. Well, that was actually positive. You know, if probably if they would have been older, it would have been more difficult. So we thought about it, and we finally said, okay, let's do it. It's gonna be part of the adventure. It's gonna be part of the journey. And
Had you come here to visit the company before
Yes,
that?
yes.
So you knew
yes,
kind of what you were getting into?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. And that was actually another funny thing. So I was basically coming back and forth. Like I used to spend 1 week here, 1 week in Mexico, 1 week here, 2 weeks in Mexico, stuff like that, for like 2 months or 3 months. And in one occasion, I brought my wife, and I think it was in December something. And obviously coming from Mexico, temperature is completely different, right? And I think that was her first time seeing snowing. And it was freezing. And it was on a weekend. And that weekend was freezing, it was snowing, it was getting dark at 4 p.m., completely different. And it was just terrible. We were on the street, nobody was there. It was alone. It was like only us. And I remember we were just exploding. And we went to a Burger King, and on a Saturday. Again, all blurry and foggy and cold and everything. And I told my wife, you know what? No, I'm not gonna bring my kids. I'm not gonna bring my kids. There is nobody on the street.
Yeah.
We're all here together. No, I'm not gonna bring them. That was on a Saturday. The Sunday was completely different. It was sun on the sky, a lot of people, everybody talking, live. I said, okay, forget what I was telling you. Let's think about it again. So yeah, that's why I'm here. It was basically an invitation.
That's a good lesson in general, isn't it? To wait a day.
Yes,
You-
exactly,
you
exactly,
know?
exactly. You just need to wait the next day, and everything might be different. Yeah, I think that's a good lesson.
So you said that the first 3 years of the transition to living here were really difficult.
Mhm.
What was the hardest part? Like, was it the cultural differences, or was there any language? Like, did all of your family speak English coming here?
No, and that was actually one of the most difficult things. I was speaking English, but neither my wife nor my kids speak English. Obviously now they speak much better English than me, obviously. And my wife is still, struggling, but yeah, she's actually been able to communicate. And I think one of the most difficult things is that we found ourselves completely alone. because we don't have family here, blood family here. We didn't have any friends. We were completely alone. As I said, it was a blessing that we are here in this church. Because I think Saint Mark's was the beginning of everything. But I think that was the most difficult. Like, after being with our families for so many years, now we are like, wow, we are completely alone with two little kids, and everything was new. So yeah, that was difficult.
I'm an ESL teacher, so
Mhm.
I like to hear the insight.
Yeah, and they have been great.
I think it's been a blessing to St. Mark's that your family has been here. You know, I feel like I've been privileged to get to know all of Mauro's family. His son Mauro Jr. was part of the Creo program. And which is a program that was started here at St. Mark's to work with Latino youth to help them transition to college and make college an option. And then Paula is in the youth group now, and that's been great getting to know her as well. So, and of course, I'm Facebook friends with Alejandra, and so I get to see all your travels.
Yes. So yeah.
What was it that made Alejandra concerned about us not being a Roman church, and then what made her feel connected that it wasn't? Like, what was? Because the religious stuff was really big for me to get over. Like that was difficult challenge to be, whatever it was, but that's the podcast I listen to, right? It's all biblical studies, it's all history. So yeah, what was that for her?
I think after 12 years, I can probably say that she was concerned about nothing really. I mean, she was concerned, or she was having this like points to investigate, mainly because of the same reason, because it was different. We were not used to the Episcopal Church, and we were not used to all the subtle differences. And I think that was it. Was like, no, this is not what we are used to. And once we actually engaged and lived here, everything was like we belong. Definitely. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really concerned about being big. Yeah, that's it. And I guess at least to me, what is making me still being here after 12 years is I think some of you talk about openness, and that's actually pretty big to me. I mean, just to give you an example, the role that women play in this church, it's something that I never lived before. And that was one of the big reasons I said, I want to be here. I belong here. That's one of them, but there are several. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah.
Mauro, can I ask you a question? Have you or your family been treated as Mexican in the wrong way? Have you suffered that? Has your family been affected by that, I guess is my question.
The simple answer is never. Never.
Wow.
Never. I've never felt any kind of discrimination in my job. I've asked my kids. They have said never. My wife, never. I guess the answer is never.
Fantastic.
Right.
It surprises me in a good way.
Yeah, no, but actually, I'm being completely honest. Never. I have never felt that. It's actually been the opposite. I mean, everything that I've received is, everybody has been so welcoming, so caring, so helpful. So, no, and I've met people here at my job, at several other places. All the different activities from my kids that have given me the opportunity to meet other people. No, I can't actually say anything about discrimination or being treated unfairly. I have no no examples.
So it is possible. We can get there. As a country, as a people. Yeah,
I guess there is always a chance, but
yeah,
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 I have never felt.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I said, it was the first 3 years, 3 difficult years. But after that, it's been a blessing. I mean, I love being here. I love being in this community. I love being in this area. I love Chicago. I love the church. So it's really, really a blessing. Yeah, it's home. So yeah. I love it.
I'm curious, have your whole family become US citizens?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
Actually, we are in the middle of the green card process. It's a lengthy
Yes.
process.
Yeah.
It's sometimes very, what is the word? Overwhelming. It's a very overwhelming process. So we went through one visa to the next, and now the green card process, and the green card process has taken like 4 years. Actually, it started before the pandemic. And because of the pandemic, everything stopped.
Yeah.
Everything stopped. And once we went through this, we started again. But that was in what, 2020 or 2021? So it's been 4 years. And we are in the very, very, very last step. But it can take still a year. I mean, we could get the green cards tonight, or it can be in a year. Nobody knows. So we are in that process. And that's the reason why I said that we haven't been in Mexico for the last 2 years. Because once you are in the last step of the green card, you are not allowed to leave.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's like you are abandoning the process.
Yeah.
Right. So we are almost there. And once you get the green card, you become permanent residents, not citizens, permanent residents. And you need to spend, if one wants to become citizen, you need to spend 5 years with a permanent residency, and then you need to go through some other paperwork and stuff, and then you can become citizens. So we are not there yet.
If people have no idea how complicated that process is, and they'll say things like, well, why don't they just become citizens? It's like, what?
It is very complicated.
Yeah,
We couldn't. Yes.
no,
Right.
no.
Yeah,
And another complicated thing is that I need to log off to start for the service. But thank you, Mauro. This was wonderful. And thank you, everyone. And we're going to shut off Zoom now.